Hello, hello, and welcome again. You are here at the Coaches Lounge with yours truly, Barbara J. Beckley. And I am here to just shout out, to celebrate, to give so much love to coaches, mentors, and educators in this world. I always notice that, people that help people bring themselves up or, move that needle in their lives, they don't get that much love. They might get love from the person they're helping, but not a lot of people don't really understand all the things that they do for that individual to make them shine in this world. And it takes coaches, it takes mentors, it takes the educators. And I wanted to create this show so we can spotlight them and make sure that you understand who's moving, who's helping to move that needle. They're not doing it all by themselves. I mean, I'm a coach and I need a coach. Oprah's out there. She has many coaches. So this is not something new that you need somebody in your life to help you grow because we don't know everything. And it's funny because I was just telling my wonderful queen that's about to come up that, learning from individuals is so important. Always keep your mind open and your ears open because you never know what you're going to learn, what's going to be dropped into your world to make sure that you are moving. And this particular queen, she has it. I'm telling you, she's a celebrity. Yes, she probably like, what? Yes, Kinga's a celebrity, Miss Queen. And I call Lady Queens because I really, really want to make sure that you see their light. I always say that, queens are a lighthouse to the world. She's a lighthouse to the world in what she does. And I always ask my guests, what title would you name this particular interview if you had it? And she said, she might not even remember, but she said, rock your body into summer by creating your dream health. Now, wouldn't you want to watch that show? Hint, hint to Kinga. Maybe she could create that kind of show. That would be amazing. With that, Miss Kinga, I got to give her love. She's a holistic health coach and energy workers. She brings freedom to your life and peace in your family line. Kinga helps people get past consistent tiredness, which I think I probably need to hire her now that I'm reading this, heavy stress, and feeling stuck without using strict rules on diets. Yeah, definitely I'm going to have to make a phone call with her after this. Instead of giving you more health information, and has anybody been through that? Raise your hand, right? Oh, she focuses on real hands-on shifts. This is going to be a powerful interview because this is needed for all of us. I know that. By mixing simple wellness plans with quiet energy work and custom handmade tools, she helps you completely reset your body. And I can go on for Queen, but I want her to tell us more about that. But I was just giving you just a little taste of what you're going to get from this wonderful queen. So we will be right back, and you will get to meet the wonderful Queen Kinga. We'll be right back. And we are back. If you're just signing on, you're here at the Coaches Lounge with yours truly, Barbara J. Beckley, and the wonderful Queen Kinga. So, lady, can you tell me, first of all, you are beautiful. I am so happy you're on the show. And thank you so much for your time. I got to say that first.
Thank you so much, Barbara. I'm so grateful to be here. So thank you for having me.
Now, I was just telling Kinga of Queen Kinga because I told her get used to hearing Queen because she's a queen, and I was just letting her know that she's global on my show. She lives in California, but she's from Budapest, and I was like, yes, I have a global, wonderful queen, and that's what we were talking about. How always make sure your ears are open because we learn from all of our queens globally in the USA. And she's both. She's from Budapest and she lives in California. So she got two things going on, two gold stars. So wonderful, wonderful queen. I want to start before we talk about, like you said, and I hear a little scratching in the background. I hope that's not me.
Oh, is better?
Uh-oh. Okay, we are back. And hello, hello, hello. We're back. If you're just tuning in, this is Barbara J. Beckley, the host of Coach's Lounge. And I have a wonderful, amazing queen that I said that is a celebrity. Hello, queen. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you, Barbara?
I'm doing wonderful that you're here, that you're on the show, and we get a chance to get to know you. We get a chance to get to know how you're a lighthouse to the world for other people, because that's what I always talk about. You have those people that are in your life that help you grow and move forward, and you are one of those people, especially in the healthcare part. I mean, the health part of it. So I really want to just jump in. First of all, I love the title that you would give this show, Rock Your Body into Summer by Creating Your Dream Health. And I think we all look for that. So, Queen, let's start off by just pulling. I always like to pull that curtain and figure out how did you get to this? How would you get to this? This health coach, this energy worker, everything you do for people. What kind of started you in that?
To be honest, it was by chance, if I may say that.
Sometimes it happens.
Well, growing up, what I was doing as a child, I thought it was normal kids' behavior, and then I found out that it wasn't. And so when it began with being bullied. Most of everybody's story, I was bullied, so I was very withdrawn, and so every time I got bullied for a body image, like I had problem with my eyes, with my body, and so I was bullied, and so what I was doing is, well, I come up with a solution for not to be bullied, and so I turned inside and I recovered. And so someone told me, when after I had an incredible illness at 24, someone told me, if you don't share your story, you're selfish. And that's how it started. And I'm teaching the same method that got me through childhood, adulthood, overcome those health-related challenges. And that's why I'm here.
Well, Queen, I'm so glad that that person came in your life and said that, because that's so important, because when people can feel connection with you, might be going something similar, like you said about the bullying and about, that part when you were growing up. I went through that too. And that's why I told myself I wanted to make sure that especially women, that they don't have a voice. So I really want to make sure of that. So I'm so glad that you listen to that and move forward and say, okay, I need to do some things to help others, not just yourself. Yeah. So wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Now, with that, okay, so let's go into now with the holistic health coach and the energy workers. And I like how you said you bring freedom, for people with peace. So how do you, because especially when you were talking about tiredness and heavy stress and stuff, and I was like, okay, check box, check box, check box, check box. And not just for me, but I know a lot of the people that I know is going through that too. So how do you come to individuals and help them in that area?
The way I do it is I look at the root cause. I want to know when it started, what was the event, and we work from there. So that's why I call myself as an energy worker, because I use energy techniques, but also I'm very practical, and I like to see what is the food. It might be food related, it might be emotion, it might be energy stock. So it depends. Everybody's different. So what is the root cause of it? So once we find the root cause, we have a solution.
Yes. Yeah, I like how you said that, Queen, because I always tell people, everybody, okay, I'm just gonna use an example. Everybody that's, maybe overweight is not all because they eat a lot of food. There could be so many other things that's even not even going towards in them eating a lot of food, where it's causing some issues. And like you said, and one thing I hope you can talk about a little bit is the stress factor. Because I know a lot of people, even myself, and like I said, I'm gonna use this example for you. When stress hits and everything like that, I found myself gaining more weight. And it wasn't so much of me eating a lot, but it was just something that was, propelling my body to react a certain way, where it was gaining the weight that I found out. So like you said, I like how you said you want to dig and what the root of it is. So what kind of things with your clients or the people that you work with, that you've seen some things that was the root of some things that they thought it was something else, and you found out after talking to them, you're like, no, it's this.
It's usually grief.
That's
it's usually grief, especially when it comes to weight, sleep, energies, unresolved grief.
That's powerful. I'm so glad you put that out there, because a lot of people don't believe that sometimes. They're like, no, I'm okay. I'm okay with that, what happened and everything. But then your body's reacting to it, right?
Yes. Wow. Yes. And we're not even realizing it when grief hits, because we want to feel okay. So we say that we're okay, and then we're not okay. And the body will speak to us in a way that it rings the alarm clock, like I like to say, because you can outlie your body. Your body remembers everything. That's why it's very important is when something happens, we process it when it happens versus suppress it and wait.
That is like I said, that is so important to know, because I was just thinking, just an example again, when you're talking about grief, excuse me, just within the 3 months time, I lost 4 people, 2 friends and 2 family members. And, I just kept in my mind, Queen, I'm just like, okay, I'm tackling it. I'm sad about it. But then what I do, I just keep moving in my work and moving in my business. And somebody said, Barbara, you're going to have to stop for a minute and just really just take this in. I mean, I understand you're trying to do something else to kind of placate that part of it, but you have to really work it out, because your body's going to be saying something different than what you think. You think you're moving forward, and your body's like, no, I'm not moving forward. You might be in your mind, but your body is saying something different. And that's why I'm so glad you said grief, because I believe that so much. Yes.
Yeah. I'm so sorry for your loss. That's incredibly challenging for people. And it's, yes, so I can relate to that, how you felt, and keep going and not fully be present and feel it, because it can be a lot for people.
Yeah.
why it's very important to have a space where you can express, and even if it's sitting quietly,
Mm.
even just a small things can really make a difference.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I'm glad you mentioned some of the things that people can use for that. Because I like my quiet time. I do. I like to just just get away from the computer and everything. I'll just go somewhere like in the living room or just outside and just look at nature and just really just be still and don't say anything. Yeah. So
Yes.
that helps a lot. That helps a lot. Now, I was going to ask you too. Now, there's two things I know you wanted to mention: the power of activation and integration over information overload. That's a lot of its own right there. So,
Yeah.
can you speak a little bit about that? Because that hits home for everybody too.
Yes, because I mean, we may talk about health, you can go to ChatGPT and ask for a plan, right? And it will give you the strategy that you need. You can go to most people and they will give you the strategy.
Right.
Well, people already know the strategy, they already have the information. You can go. I just had a conversation with a friend about keto and paleo, like how it helps with weight, sleep, energy, and yes, it works for some people, but it's not for everybody.
Yes.
And we have to look at what works for you, what because we are all individual and we have different backgrounds. So with the activation, what I do is I'm not giving you any information. I'm looking at where you are, where you want to be, what's in the way,
Yeah.
and you gonna come up with a strategy. You will see the what's in the way, and so I support you by eliminating as many as I can in a session. And I always say, if we have a problem in our current, we cannot solve it here. We have to elevate. So that's where the activation comes. I elevate you where you want to be in your health.
Mhm.
So when I work with clients, for instance, they tell me, okay, I in a week I want to lose 3 pounds. Okay, so how does that look like? And so we look at that person who already lost that 3 pounds, for instance,
Mhm.
and see what's in the way. And that's where the strategy comes in, because when we elevate it, the strategy follows and it's so much easier and it comes from you versus from someone else.
Yes, I love that. And I think about when you said the power of activation and like the overload, because like you said, we can get all information from everywhere. I mean, AI, all that stuff, right? But I feel like if you don't put action to it and have that type of thing, then you're just getting a lot of information. You're saying like, oh, it says to do this, oh, it says do that, it says do that. And I always ask somebody, well, where did you start? Where did you do some action? Did you start anything? And they're like, well, I'm still reading, I'm still looking, I'm still learning. And I was like, okay, but somewhere you got to start somewhere with, somewhere, right? And I like how you come into a person's life to let them know that, what, this is where you need to put the energy at. This is where you need to start. Let's work on that. Let's be consistent on some things, right? Yes, definitely.
Yes, absolutely.
And I want to ask this too, Queen. When you have like people come in, like say for instance, they come in to either have a discovery call with you, and this helps everybody. I just want the audience to know that how this Queen works, so you can, if you need her help, you know what to do. You need to go to her. So when they come into your discovery call and you have that call with them, what kind of things that kind of like what you ask for them so you can help them more? What are like a few things that you ask them in your discovery call?
During the discovery call, I usually ask things like, when did the problem started? How long has it been going on? I ask about the lifestyle, relationships,
Mm,
um, any events that had occurred, and uh, and what is their goal,
yes.
and uh, and I do a full body analysis, basically,
Oh.
or lifestyle analysis, because it's a lifestyle. And then based on that, I can tell if I can help or I can't help. I'm
Mm,
very honest on in
yeah.
that department, and because, like you said, it can be different factors, and
Yeah.
and uh, I'm I'm not qualified for certain things. I'm only qualify what I understand in
Yes.
my expertise. So that's when I that's how I can. I'm honestly answering how I can serve.
Mhm. Well,
So
those are
that
some really, I mean, didn't mean to cut you off, Queen, but I was just going to say those are some awesome questions that you asked in the discovery call, because there's some things that people don't even think about that you're asking them that you know in your mind might be causing some of the deeper things. Like, what's happened in your life for the last year or something, or was something really that just startled you or whatever, because like you just said, sometimes we always look at the physical when we go to the doctor's office. Okay, say let me check your ears, let me check your eyes. We're so used to that part. We're not used to people ask us questions like, well, what happened in your world, in the last 4 years, or are you having a hard time in certain areas, because that's where you get deeper into that rut like you're talking about. Yeah.
yes, absolutely.
So I'm loving the question that and then like you said, you're like me, Queen. I do the same thing. I have discovery calls. And at the end of the call, that's at that time you can see if you can help them, or there might be somewhere else they need to go. And see, that's what makes the integrity so wonderful for you, is because you want to see them heal. But if you don't have that at the time, what you do, you basically tell them, okay, I feel like you need to go here, or maybe or you might know somebody you work with and help you in that area. So it's about helping the individual, when it all comes down to it. And so I love how you have that within your discovery call, that you're like, hey, if I can't help you, maybe we can find somebody that can, and if you can help them, yes, work with King, work with his Queen. Because she knows, she gets deep into it, and she wants to see, you have a full freedom life. That's why I love when you said you bring freedom. Now, with that, I know there's another thing that you are concerned of sometimes, is breaking generational ties. So can you talk a little bit about that as well?
Yes, absolutely. So with generational ties, it often comes from how we perceive our health from our ancestors. So you often hear, "Oh well, this runs in the family.
Uh-huh.
This is where I go." No, it stops with you,
Thank you.
because you have the power to rewrite your story, your health story. It doesn't have to be the same as your ancestors. And I also, that's one part of the generational test, is we stop it. And the other is when there is a conflict with someone, with an ancestor, it's very important to resolve that conflict and learn from it. It doesn't mean you forgive, or if it's violent or something very terrible. But what's important is, what I notice is to resolve those conflicts. It
Mhm.
makes a world difference in your health and
Yes.
well-being. And so that's why I'm wholeheartedly believe is to working with the generational ties is
Mhm.
very
Mhm.
important.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. I love, what? I'm so glad you mentioned. See, those are so many good things that you had that you're asking people about the generation. Because I hear all the time, well, my mother, my dad had it, so looks like I have it too. Oh, well. And, they just kind of just go with the flow, like, this is part of whatever. And I'm like, really? You really want to just stay there like that? I mean, and I say that because I used to say that to me. Because my mother had, high blood pressure and cholesterol. My dad, he was dealing with diabetic and stuff. And I'm like, okay, why gotta be just because, so you gotta like love on yourself a little bit more and say, no, let's stop this. Let's not just go with the flow. People go, oh, okay, I just got, I'm gonna take the same medicine they're taking. Like, why you have to do that? So break the ties, like you said, break the ties. Love it. Love it. Yes. I have a sign up there with you when you're telling people that. I just have like a sign that you like, yeah, break the ties.
Break, yes, yes. It doesn't
It's,
have to be your story. Break it.
it's almost like a movement almost. You can put breaking the generational ties movement. So yes, oh my God. So that's the freedom again. That's what you're telling people. You could be free from this. We could just work with you on that. Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing. So now I was going to ask you, Queen, like some of the clients that you have, um, do they all like different ways? Like, some people might be, maybe overweight. Other people, they might not have that much weight. I mean, do you have like different scenarios of people that you work with that you tackle?
Yes, it doesn't have to be always weight. I work with different people. I had somebody that she wanted to work on her her food, but then what we realized, it wasn't even about the food. It was, she was carrying a 25 years of grief in her heart that was affecting her health. And under one session, we released that grief, and she was able to um, to recover from the surgery at a faster rate. She reconnected with her husband. I didn't know her marriage was on the line. She
Oh,
told me after, and she was a mom too. So it was amazing to see the transformation that what can happen. Just again, I go back to the grief is when we release grief, or it's it's not, because of what something I remind people, it's not about forgetting about the person or not ever remembering. It's about releasing the pain.
yes, yes. And you know what I do too, Queen, when it comes to grief, because like I said, I've been dealing with a lot of it lately, is that I like to just look at the legacy that they would want it to leave. And if I can be a part of that to keep that moving, that's what I like to do. And I feel like that puts a smile in my heart instead of me, I mean, I feel sad, of course, because, you hate to lose anybody that you love, right? But if
Yes.
I can show the love by, whatever they might have been working on, or maybe something they believed in, or, just any little thing that can keep that legacy going for lives, generations. I feel like that's kind of the way to, just really just be proud of what they did and respect them. So when I think of it like that, it kind of helps me uplift a little bit of the grief that I have for what's going on. It just and maybe Queen, I was going to ask you. You have to find ways to deal with the grief, right? I was just going to ask you that too.
Yes, there is different ways, and I love how you said that you remember the legacy and put that in your daily life. I think that's so important.
Yes,
I,
definitely.
I really believe that's one of the key steps, to remember the person as if they were here and keep that legacy, because I do believe their energy is still here, and they want you to be happy. They want you to keep
Yeah,
going. They don't want you to be
sad.
sad and put your health on the line because of the pain.
Yes. Yeah,
They
I
are.
think that too. That's good. That's good. That's like a mic drop. Mic drop. Yes, they want you to see you succeed. They want you to move forward. They want you to live a life of freedom, and they don't want to be grieved because of because they're being gone. In your life. So I think about that too, and I said, okay. Then I'd be like, okay, wait a minute, I got a job to do.
Yeah.
Being all, I gotta move forward once I get through it. But it's interesting that the biggest thing you said out of the people that you meet and that you work with is the grieving thing. And you know what? Sometimes it don't have to be a grieving a person. I was going to ask you that too. It could be grieving maybe of a job or a certain, it could be just, it don't have to just be a person. It could be places or things, right?
Oh yes. I even job loss, relationship, even just connection with somebody that you someone you loved. It
Yeah.
could be a best friend, or
Hmm.
um, that's something I personally went through, and or children. Like I see a lot of when parents, children grow up. It's a
Hmm.
different kind of happiness and grief at the same time, right? So I see that too.
Yeah.
So
So I think that's what happens in a discovery call when you really find out the root of, okay, where's the grief coming from, and
yes.
that's where you start seeing that too. So I always tell people, grief doesn't have to just be somebody passing; it could be grief for losing other things in your life. So yeah, because I mean, I lost a really dear friend. Now she didn't pass away, but our relationship passed. I thought we was gonna be that like just that wonderful relationship, but it didn't last as I thought it was going to be, and I grieved a little bit from it because we really had a closeness of a friend. But Again, like you said, walking through what you said to get to that freedom, you got to do what you have to do. But yeah. So
Absolutely.
Queen, I want to say, I want to give you at least, because this has been amazing conversation. You are incredible people. Reach out to this wonderful queen. But I want to just give her a few seconds to leave any lasting thoughts she has. I'm going to take myself down. So I'm going to be quiet so she can leave any lasting thoughts. And I'll be right back to wrap it up.
Thank you, Barbara. So yes, if you're watching, I'm so grateful you're here. And and what I can tell you is don't let the past define you. And if you're working through something challenging, give yourself permission to feel. Take a note, journal, go out in nature. If you have any feelings, really look at any emotions as a guidance. Don't let that define you, and just love yourself throughout the process that you're going through.
Yes, Queen. Well, thank you so much, Queen. Please listen to that and reach out to her. Now, Queen, where can they contact you? Just want to make sure they can contact you if they need to.
I can send you my scheduling link, and anyone who's watching, I'm happy to do a free consultation. And I'm on LinkedIn and on Facebook under my name, Kinga Gecsey.
Yeah, she's everywhere, people. She's a celebrity. So, and I'll make sure even in the show notes here that you will have her links to her LinkedIn, to her discovery call, because I do have that link too. And I'll make sure that they have that just in case they want to work with you. And you know, my suggestion is, and people know me already, I'm gonna be bold. Yes, reach out to this queen.
Thank you, Barbara. It's just such a pleasure. Thank you.
Oh, you too. And then anytime you want to come back, you are always welcome. I always tell people, welcome back to the Coaches Lounge. Anything you do in your life, because I want to always spotlight the coaches. So with that, everybody, again, remember spotlighting these experts for advice, not only for your life, but in business. But understand the reason why is because you are a lighthouse world. And we will see you next time on the Coaches Lounge.